program, it's really important in the classroom as well as in field work. So professional behaviors can range from how you dress, to how you talk, to how you write, to anything you present yourself. So, and this means that even when you're not in school and when you're at AOTA conference or anywhere where there's a speaker, that you're representing your profession, our school, and yourself. So just think about those things kind of going forward. We look at that throughout your career here, and it's really important. If there is a problem with professional behaviors and you have two different semesters where there's a problem, you can be asked to leave the program. So we take this very seriously, just because this is our profession and we have to respect those who we work with. And so just kind of giving you some information about that. That's your, that's how you can be successful too in fieldwork and in the profession, is the professional behaviors. So again, some examples might be dress. You know, how you dress is really important. How you present yourself, your facial, your body language, it's just all you. So that's, again, going to be something that kind of pops up every single day here. So just remember that. What else do we need to talk about?
You hit all of
Any other questions? I am. I'm going to steal it so you can't know. Anything else?
One thing I was going to throw out just while I'm thinking about while they're looking, because there are 3 of them and across different programs, you can always just consider me your point person. I'm kind of like the fieldwork summer. Like I can get you to where you need to be rather than blasting all 3 different people, if that makes sense. So unless you know specifically who you want to go to, you can always come straight to me first, if that makes sense.
And Janine and I are based out of Norcross. Charles is based out of Gainesville. So that's also. And Janine is full-time. I'm actually 0.6666. So I'm here Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, but I have access to email and my phone, so you can call that. So, welcome. Forgot you're here. Stop by. Sometime. Great. Hi.
just talk about a couple things and then we'll take a stretch break. So I want to kind of go off what Marcy was just talking about is professional behavior. So while you're here, and we keep talking about professional education, and part of that is because, you know, we're going to be colleagues soon. Like, what, in 2.5 years, we'll be colleagues, you know? So you want to, these instructors that you're working with, they may be your references for jobs in the future. So you want to kind of keep that in the back of your mind. You know, I'll get called for references, and you know, they'll ask me, well, how's this person's time management skills? Well, Ashley, who's never going to be late to class, but if Ashley's late every time I have class with her, you know, you know, I'm only going by what experience I have with Ashley. So I'm going to say, well, you know, her assignments were always late. She was always late to class. So what can I say about time management, right? Which is not you, right? Look how pretty she looks. So, you know, that's the kind of stuff you kind of have to keep in the back of your mind. So if something happens and you're going to be late, you know, we have in your syllabus it'll say, you know, send an email or call if you need to. If you should probably put in your cell phone the main number. The building opens at 7:30, but there's also an answering machine there. So, well, not an answering machine. That would be like from the 1980s. There's a voicemail, and so we'll get the message. So, you know, stuck in traffic, which happens a lot. So you better just like leave early. But you know, if something's going on, that you get a message, and consider this like your job. So, you know, I might say, well, yeah, Ashley was late twice, but she called. You know, so that's what I would look at. We have speakers a lot. If there's a speaker coming in, you know, we probably recommend, we have these polos. You already talked about that, right?
I should talk more, but yeah, the
Yeah, so we have the polos over there. they'll say Brunel, if you don't wanna dress up and you wanna just throw your polo on and some khakis on the day that we have guest speakers, then you don't have to think about, is what I'm wearing professional enough, that's professional, that's fine. No jeans, things like that, when we have speakers, because, and this isn't stuff that we make up. I mean, I've had experiences where speakers have made comments to me afterwards about student behaviors and the way students looked in classes, not here, not at another job I had. And so it does matter, because one of the speakers, you might want to get a job at that place at some point. If you think they're not going to remember you, oh, they'll remember. So you want to always kind of keep that in the back of your head. The same thing with these fieldwork level 1 experiences. You're representing Brunel, and so right now you're a student, so you're like, yeah, whatever, but later on down the road, if you say you went to Brunel, someone might say, oh, the students from there are awesome. We had this student, and she was early, she was willing to do whatever, she helped me clean up, and you're gonna have more power saying you're from Brunel when you're applying for that job, because they're gonna know, oh, those students are solid. They have really good professional behavior, they're committed to the profession, they know what they're doing. And you would be surprised, and I'm sure some of you, this is your second career, will agree with this, is that though it shouldn't be, first impression makes a big impact on someone. Even if you are the smartest person in the class, it won't matter, because if you don't make that good first impression. So just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. So when we have speakers, everyone sits up straighter, and which is fine. When it's just us and you want to wear jeans, I don't care. In most of the faculty, during our practical exams, we expect you to come dressed like you were in the work setting. So some students like to wear scrubs. You don't have to. You can wear khakis and a shirt, or nice pants and a shirt. But then you can also wear your polo. When we do practical exams, we kind of simulate what it would be like in the clinic. So that's another time where we're looking for that professional behavior. So I tell students, I don't want to see what's that tattoo you have right here? What are those called? Yeah, I don't want to see your tramp stamp. I don't want to see your thong. I don't want to see, so I don't want to see your pretty Victoria's Secret bra, especially you. I don't want to see that stuff. So just, kind of think about that. And I know it sounds ridiculous, but those of you who've been out there, people wear, this one job I had, nursing, any nurses in here? Nurses are very rigorous. I mean, they have a lot of rules, and they're very, I worked at this one hospital, and one of the nurses wore red underwear under her white nursing pants, and I thought the nurse manager was going to have a heart attack. Like, really, I did. She was just like, her eyes got really big as the nurse went walking by, and everyone's like, does this person not have a mirror? So we say this stuff, but only because it's happened to us before, because we've lived it. Somebody has done something somewhere down the road, and you would think that person wouldn't, but it's happened. So that's why we spend a lot of time talking about this. Same thing with email communication with faculty. If you are told to communicate with your field work, you want a nice email. You want to say, dear so-and-so, not, hey, what's up? I've gotten that email before. Hey, what's up? I'm like, who is this person? I don't know who they are, and why are they saying, hey, what's up in the first line? I just got one the other day from somebody that I didn't have as a student. And I was like, who is this person, And so just kind of keep that in the back of your mind. You want your communications to be formal, somewhat formal. If you're communicating with faculty, what's really helpful in your subject line, if it's something to do with field work, put field work. If it's a class, if you can think of the class, put that in there, because we get hundreds and hundreds of emails every day. If we skim and we see, Marcy says, fieldwork issue level 1, she'll pull that email right away up so she can get right back to you. For me, if I see it's about an assignment, I'll open that right away. no matter where I am, to make sure that I'm not, you're not waiting for me to hear, get back to you. So anything like that's helpful. If you attach something to an email, see attached, write that in your message so we know to look for something. I've gotten emails and students like pull up my last message to them and they respond about something else and they attach, and it's not anything to do with the topic of the original email they sent me, so I don't know that there's something there. And then they're like, well, I sent it last week. Well, the way our emails come up, we can't see the bottom. So just say, see attached, especially if you're sending something to Brittany, that's really helpful. So just think about if you were getting, 100 to 200 emails a day, like what would be helpful for you? Now on your end, I'm gonna flip, if I was sitting here in your seat, I would, in my email, make like little maybe folders for things, like maybe a fieldwork folder, maybe a to-do. Sometimes you're in the middle, those of you that work on the opposite days, you might not be able to follow up on the email right away that second, but you read it, put it in your to-do box, and every day go to your to-do box, see what's in there. Oh, do I need to respond to any of these? Nope, I can hold off on that. And organize your email because you're gonna be busy too. We know you have lives. So organize yourself now. Brittany was saying try to get some of these stuff done before you start class. Organize yourself. We use Brunel email as formal communication. So you want to email from your Brunel emails so you know that you've got everything there. And set up those folders, okay? And that might help you a little bit, especially if everything's like, so right now you're like, oh my gosh, I can't manage all this information. When Brittany sends the email, create a little folder for yourself and stick it in there. And that can be helpful. And then you can go back and look at it. Because that's what I do, even when Brittany sends me stuff, I'm like, okay. Actually, I used to ask Nancy something. I got an email from someone, I don't even know who they are. I'm like, what do I do with this? Because I couldn't put it in a folder because I didn't know what to do with it. So that's really helpful. No, that was a different person. That one I just deleted because I didn't know what I was supposed to do with that one. But just kind of try to figure out something that works for you, that you kind of get into a routine. And we'll talk about habits and routines actually as occupational therapists. We work with habits and routines, like how do people manage things? What's their, you walk in the door, you throw your keys on the counter. If for some reason you don't do that, then you can't find your keys, right? Like you're like, oh my gosh, where are my keys? Like my keys are always right here. Where are they? So you're going to start developing your own habits, routines, okay? And that's part of what we're trying to help you with today a little bit, if you can. So let's take a sorry.
It might be helpful if you would talk to them about professionalism and social media.
Facebook?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, before we go with that. Okay, so my last job, before I got there, like right before I got there, there was a graduate who got this new job and made a comment on Facebook about something that happened at work that day, and it wasn't written in a very nice way. And the next day, they were no longer employed there, okay? So you have to be really careful with social media, Facebook, things like that. And it's not just here, it's even when you start working. Like I worked for two major, like I work for Emory right now, and I worked for University Hospital in Birmingham. Major hospital systems have social media policies now, and you cannot comment about work. Like it's against the rules and you'll get fired. So when you're frustrated here, you might want to just talk to each other and not like Facebook about it, because even if you have a private group, it's there. Like someone can get into it, and also everybody in your private group might not feel the same way, and they might take that and leak it out to somebody else. And then any teachers in here? Okay. do you not know everything that's going on when you're standing up here? Pretty much.
Right.
Yeah, you pretty much know what's going on. So we will find out,
Yeah.
you know, and that's part of professional behavior, okay? And so that story I told you about that person getting fired, that's a true story, that happened, okay? So, you know, most people are nodding now, I think, you know, but be real careful with social media, even something that you think, and we were just having this conversation the other day, even if you think it's like not anything major, like take a second and say, could someone misunderstand this? Because that's the other thing, email communication, written communication, you can't see someone's face, you can't see if they're kidding. It's often misinterpreted, and you don't want that to happen if you really truly did not intend to say what you wrote. You know, did you ever read something and you're like, well, that person's passive aggressive, you know? And then you think later, well, maybe it was just because of the email and they were rushed and they just wrote, you know. So, you know, really, I would really just avoid writing stuff about people. You know, is that?
Or also posting pictures, because a lot of times.
Oh, pictures. Oh, yeah, that's a good
You're
one.
gonna have a great time, you're gonna be like, oh, this kid was so cute, and then that's illegal. So you can't post anything about your field work, even if it's, I would just steer clear about it. You know, that way you're not tempted and you're not, you know, on the edge. Because you're gonna have great experiences that you wanna share. And even when you work and you're in the hospital, like I had this great success with a patient today and they got up and were able to get dressed by themselves. Well, that might be able to be linked to who that is. It's a really small world and just, you gotta, I just avoid it. Because you have the negative that you know, a lot of people vent on Facebook, but also people put a lot of positives on there. So
You can
think
say I
about
love
that.
Brunel, but
Yeah. But just always think in the back of your mind, you know, just be cautious of that. And if you feel like, then don't post anything.
well, the other thing is, there, I don't know if you've seen this, like especially in the business world, you can probably comment too, is that their employers go on the internet now and look for stuff. So if you were partying and like I was at a conference in down in Alabama, and anybody been to the Florabama? It's a bar down there. They have like Molotovs and stuff. Anyway, it's like it's a cool place, but it's like a dive. Anyway, they have those things where you can stick your face in and take your picture, and then you can write on the columns in the bar. So, and there's this drink called Bushwhacker. It's a frozen drink, it's bad. But anyway, someone took a picture of me at conference. This was at night, you know, obviously the conference, holding the drink, writing on the wall, standing next to that thing where you stick your face in, and posted it on Facebook. And I don't usually befriend students on Facebook, but there's former students that are not my colleagues. And I was like, why did this person put this picture up on, like they tagged me in it? And I was like, oh my gosh, and there I am. My eyes are red. So I'm like, delete. Yeah. I'll show you that sometime. So yeah, also when you're partying and stuff, you know, you want to kind of like probably make the Facebook so they can't tag you unless you give permission anymore. Because you don't know, you know, you don't want that to influence a job or something like that. You know, even though maybe that was your only beer for the whole night, you know. So just kind of think about that stuff. It stinks, but you have to. The other thing is recording. I've noticed in it, and I think it's just the kind of where we are in the world with recording, but you can't just whip out and start recording people, patients or faculty or conferences. Another situation I just heard of recently was we have this series we use, Jan Davis, she's an OT, very famous, and we used her series. It's copyrighted. Well, not here. This did not happen here. This happened at another OT program. Somebody was absent, so another student started recording the screen of the Jan Davis video series so that their friend could do the assignment who wasn't there. but then posted it on Facebook so that the friend could watch it. Well, that's a copyright, like, you know, the university could get sued. So, you know, but the student wasn't even thinking about it, you know, like, I don't think he intentionally did it. Like, I know him actually, and he's a nice person, I mean, but you can't do that, you know, so just be real, I wouldn't be videoing anything. We have lots of videos we can give you, you know, you don't, as far as recording classes, you just wanna talk to the instructor ahead of time and make sure it's okay, if you need to record.
The other thing about Facebook, I was just remembering, is friending people. I would strongly encourage you not to friend patients, your
Yeah.
community partner, people like that. Right now, you're gonna have to start learning about boundaries. And what are your boundaries? If it just puts you and the patient or whoever or your community partner in a bad spot. So go ahead and think in your head, what am I gonna say when someone says, will you friend me? Because it really puts that person in an uncomfortable position as well as yourself. Just don't do that. I mean, and you're gonna have that happen all the time. I've had patients, I've had students, I too don't friend students when they're in school with me at that time. It's just, there needs to be a little bit of
For your
boundary.
protection too.
Yeah, yeah.
But
so-
after you're done and you graduate, I don't
Yeah.
care, I'll be friends with you.
We're all nice people.
Yeah, we really are.
We are, and so we just want to friend people, and, you know, Facebook seems harmless, but it really can be misinterpreted. And when you're with patients or with your community partner, they may misread that and they think, oh, so-and-so likes me, maybe I should ask them out on a date, or, you know, and that's not the intention. So, and you're not there to be their friend, you're there to work with them. And that's not a bad thing, it just is what it is, so.
Okay, let's take a little break, bathroom, whatever. Thank you for bringing that up.